Whoa, that was loud. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. Today we are looking at M Rens Add Ons 1 and 2, which are basically mesh overhauls. And this is a continuation of the last M Rens video. Since I uploaded that video, the author has improved textures in caves and dungeons and stuff like that. So there'll be a bit of that we're looking at today as well. Same as the last video, I do have Skyrim enabled. It will be enabled in both before and after footage, so any improvement we see will be from the M Ren Skyrim remaster. So, without further ado, let's jump straight in. So, there are some very staunch defenders of this mod. This group of mods, I suppose. And we just had a quick transition there because it does say that it remodels mountains and stuff like that, but I didn't notice too much of a change there. This is a lot lighter in terms of file size than past mods I've covered, so maybe we won't see such a big change. See there was very little change. There was no change at all to the rocks, but some people need a lighter mod just because they're close to the mod limit, and they need to scale back a little bit on the amount of space that they use. So I guess this mod would be perfect for those people. As you can see on the left hand side, we've got a close-up of the rock textures, which have been improved since last time. There we go, looks a lot nicer. I have to confess that I didn't find too many remeshes or remodels in the footage that I went and got. So, but I show everything as I find it. So I didn't cherry pick me footage. I just went out and got footage of caves, Dwemer ruins, dungeons, stuff like that. That the mod does say that it changes. And there was the transition, and there was very little change, if any, on that one. So again, we're not seeing too much change to the actual mountains themselves. Again, this one, on the left hand side, we've got a close-up of the textures, which you will see are improved. The cave walls have been massively improved from the vanilla game, and you will see that right about now. So just a lot more texture there, and I think there is actually a bit of remodeling going on the right hand wall. There aren't so many features on it than the previous footage, so maybe we've got a bit of the remodeling there. Again, this will be mainly more textures again. You're going to notice that all the walls and the ceiling is going to pop a lot nicer when we bring in the add-ons, which is now. There you go, just a lot more contrast. Textures are a lot nicer. You can actually see some type of definition in all the little tiny features that are in the wall. And maybe some remodeling on that right hand wall there. I'm not too sure, let me know what you think. And here we are in a dungeon, which is obviously the Dragon Priest burial chambers. So vanilla game with Skyrim here, then bringing in the remaster. Again, not too much change. We have got a bit of change on textures. A lot of the colours have been rebalanced to match the overall colour palette of the dungeon. We haven't got so many greys in there anymore. Here you're going to notice that the wood ballasts up on the right hand side of the screen, they're going to get retextured. And the wood platform just at the bottom of the screen is also going to get a little boost in texture. So they're a lot nicer, a bit smoother. Although no change really to the actual texture on the walls themselves. And not too much remodeling, if any, going on there, I've got to be honest. I did have trouble actually trying to find places that had been remodeled. The author has said in the description that it's only got about 25% of the meshes of Static Mesh Improvement mod. There you go, we just got some retexturing on the walls again there. But no massive remodeling. Yeah, so it's only got about 25% of the meshes that are brought in by the static mesh improvement mod. So again, it's a lot lighter on the actual space that it takes up of your mod load order, and probably makes the game run a bit smoother as well if you are having issues with that. And here again, the main change really is just to those wooden pillars just behind the sacrificial altar. So not too much has changed really in the Dragon Priest burial chambers. So we're moving on now to the Dwemer ruins, and here we've got a nice shot outside of one of the ruins. And when we bring in the remaster, you're really only going to notice the pipes and the little tiled roof on the left hand side have changed. No massive change there really to any of the actual features of the walls or anything like that. We're going to move on now. Obviously inside, and again what you're mainly going to spot here is the pipes, the steam pipes, and all the pistons and that get a retexture, and I think that may be it. We're going to bring in the update now. There you go. And if you do go back to the previous footage, you will notice that some of the rocks, the top right hand side, have been remodeled. It's only a small feature, but they have been improved. And again, obviously, as I said, those steam pipes and that have had a retexture, and it will pretty much be the same in this screen as well. We're going to notice that all these bronze or the Dwemer metal ornaments and pipes are going to get a retexture. And it's a little bit on the metal grate just in the distance as well. That's also been slightly improved. Moving on again. Again inside the Dwemer ruin, and again all you're really going to spot here is those pipes getting a retexture. It's not as dramatic as the past mods that I've covered. Obviously if you're using SGO with static mesh improvement mod, you're going to get a much bigger overall change to all this stuff, but you are going to pay for it in actual allocation of mod space. Obviously we only get 5 GB on Xbox, and those mods together probably come to about 2.5, at least 3 GB, something like that. So the whole focus of this mod really, as I've said multiple times in this video now, is to bring down the actual size of your mod load order. Personally, the main function of modding for me is retextures and remodels and stuff like that, and gameplay changes as well, but they're mainly very small, like script type things. So that's what I really focus on, modding, and obviously if you watch this channel you're well aware of that. So for me, going to the M Ren remaster isn't really a viable option for me. I much prefer the bigger, more impactful changes that you get with SGO and the static mesh improvement mod and stuff like that. I did say in the last video that I stand by my recommended graphic mods video, which is all the graphic mods that I like to use and I think that you guys should really use as well. So if you go and check that video out, you will actually see the benefits of using those mods and the extra space that you're going to lose on your mod allocation size. It's, as I said, it's, some people are really just gonna want some improvement, and then they're gonna put most of their mod allocation into quests and new locations and stuff like that. So those people really are limited by how much graphic mods they can use, because those type of mods, like the new quests like Falskar and all that type of stuff, does take up a lot of space. And as I said, with the recommended graphic mods video that I did, it is sizable. I admit that it is quite a sizable load order. However, if you are a graphics nut like myself, it is absolutely necessary to use those mods. I am yet to find any other graphic mods that really can compete with SGO in terms of overall improvement. Now, as I said, this mod, the M Rens mods, do have a lot of defenders. If you go and check out my comments to some of my other videos, you'll see that there's a lot of people there saying that these are a lot better because they're a lot lighter, they're not so taxing on your system. But as a, the recommended graphic mod video that I did is all footage that you can go and watch and see just how stable it is. There's very little, well, there's almost no frame rate issues except for in Riften, and you really do have to just weigh up excuse me, quality of graphic mod of the textures and stuff like that to the space that you'll lose in your mods allocation. So I am rambling now, I'm going to stop. So just a quick summary. If you're running out of space and you do want some graphic improvements in your game, then absolutely, I think M Rens overhaul's probably one of your best options to go with. However, if you do want the best graphics and textures and stuff like that, M Rens is not it, in my opinion. Again, go and check out my recommended graphics mods video for what I feel is amongst the best you can get on the Xbox. And I shall see you next time.